I grew up in the town of Yuma Pine, Oregon, which is really extremely tiny. We have one four-way stop. My parents breed, raise, and train quarter horses. We have the Lazy SK Ranch. I grew up rodeoing from when I was, as long as I can remember, really. Won my first belt buckle in barrel racing when I was 7 years old on my little horse, Sis. I continue to rodeo today at the collegiate level. However, I decided to not rodeo this year as I'm attending Eastern Oregon University, and instead I decided to be on the cheer and the dance team. So I was also a cheerleader in high school on top of rodeo. So I'm the Miss Rodeo Oregon for 2019. Fun fact about me being Miss Rodeo Oregon 2019 is that I'm actually the first title holder from Eastern Oregon to win this title in 15 years. And that's definitely a very fun fact. Wow. We haven't had somebody from over on our side of the state in a really long time, and I'm really glad to be that person and to advocate for the eastern side of the state because I think it's long overdue, and I love it over here. And in order to win this title, we have to compete in a 4-day-long pageant, which is in conjunction with the Clackamas County Fair and Canby Rodeo. So we stay over in Canby, and during the process of the pageant, we compete in several different aspects, anywhere from knowledge. We had an actual written test. We're asked impromptu questions, public speaking, horsemanship, which is a really large portion of the competition. We also had a personal and a horsemanship interview. And as well as we were pretty interactive in the rodeo, we would carry flags, participate in their grand entry, sign autographs at the Canby Ford booth. And at the end of it, it's a collection of points, and the person with the most points wins the title. By being Miss Rodeo Oregon, I am the official ambassador for the PRCA for the state of rodeo, our 13 PRCA rodeo committees all over the state, and all of our Oregon cowboys and cowgirls. And so I like to think as the official ambassador, it is my job to promote Oregon and Oregon rodeo. So by doing so, I attend all of the rodeos in Oregon, civic functions, I volunteer places, and then most importantly, I just attend rodeos and I'm just there. So I travel all over the country. When I'm not busy in Oregon, I'm trying to be out of Oregon, promoting Oregon in other places that are not Oregon. So we also get educational benefits as well. I'll win scholarships, and it really is just a great resume builder. It's going to open up a lot of doors, teaches me to be more poised and eloquent, better at speaking. I just gained personal knowledge. I actually flew on an airplane for the first time by myself just recently when I went to Denver for the National Western Stock Show. So I like to think that I'm maturing even more than I already was just through this experience. And I just finished my first month and I still have 11 to go. So there's a lot of learning to be done. I attend Eastern Oregon University, and I absolutely love it here. It's my first year. I transferred from Walla Walla Community College and Blue Mountain Community College. I was on both of their rodeo teams and did a few different prerequisites at different places. And here I'm an agriculture science major, and I'm dual enrolled in the OSU outreach program, and then I'm also political science minor. So with those degrees, I'm actually planning on using that as my undergrad. I'm preparing to take the LSAT to apply to law school, and I want to be a lawyer and then eventually run for office and write legislation and laws to help benefit Oregon agriculture and Eastern Oregon. Growing up on a ranching family, I couldn't really imagine growing up any other way, honestly. I know I'll have friends that'll talk about walking to other friends' houses, and I think, well, I mean, I have neighbors, but they're a ways away. And I really think it's important to really immerse yourself in the foundations of how our country was brought up. And before town jobs became a thing and industrialization became a thing, everybody was farmers, everybody was agricultures. And now the farmers and the agricultures are having to produce on such a large scale for a larger amount of people. And it's really important that we conserve that, we conserve those values, and that we are advocating for those values in our capital. When I was younger, I always looked up to rodeo queens, and when I was 14 years old, my mom asked me, "Do you want to try out for the Posse Court?" which is a local riding organization in Milton-Freewater, where I'm from. The Milton-Freewater Pioneer Posse, I grew up competing there. That's actually where I won my first belt buckle when I was 7. And so she asked me, "Do you want to try out for the Posse Court?" And I said, "Oh, sure," because to me, they were the girls in the crowns that did the grand entries, and they rode fast and were in the parades, and they were always really friendly. And I didn't really understand what actually went into it until I was immersed in it, and it was too late. And I was like, little 14-year-old me, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to talk to people. I have to be poised and curl my hair and learn how to put on makeup and all of that. And at 14, that's a little grueling, and it was learning pains, but I really enjoyed the girls that I was on the court with that year, and I had great advisors, and we're all still close today, which I think is awesome. It's like a sorority in a sense. And with that, I ended up running for their queen the next year, so I was their queen the following year. Then in 2012, I ran for the Walla Walla Fair and Frontier Days queen. I won that. And in 2017, I took some time off and decided to really immerse myself in junior college and focus on getting some credits under my belt and do some college rodeoing. And then I decided to run for the Pendleton Roundup Court, and I was one of their princesses in 2017. This weekend, I am having my largest fundraiser of the year, you could say. It's a formal coronation, and it is the 9th at Wild Horse Resort and Casino. Starts at 5:30, and essentially what that is it's a celebration for all my closest friends and family to be able to see a formal event of me being coronated, since I was on the other side of the state in Canby when I was officially crowned, when I officially won the title. This is a more formal ceremony to help celebrate that. And with that, I also have a silent and a live auction, and a lot of my friends and family are coming to support me, and hopefully I'll be able to raise some funds to help get my travels throughout this year started. So I'm fundraising for this year to help me travel around to all the different rodeos that I will be attending. Everywhere I go, there's a cost, but whether it be fuel, hotel, food, airfare even. I am going as far away as Florida and Canada to as close as Chief Joseph Days, Elgin Stampede, Union Rodeo, Pendleton Roundup, and it all comes at a cost. And so essentially I'm fundraising to help me offset those costs. It's estimated to be a fair amount of money. And at the end of the year, I will go to Vegas to compete for the Miss Rodeo America title representing Oregon, and that's in conjunction with the National Finals Rodeo. And that we can accrue quite a bit of costs through that as well. Wardrobe for I always love to use this as an example. For my pageant for Oregon on just Saturday, so it was 4 days long, on just Saturday alone, I wore 5 different outfits. 5. America is 8 days long. So it's a lot of clothes, and thankfully I love clothes, but it's, I don't think a lot of people understand that that's actually where a lot of our costs come from. We are in charge of outfitting ourselves and getting ourselves to and from places, and all of my travel is all on me, and to schedule and to get there and whatnot. I don't have a babysitter anymore since I'm not little 14 when I was on the Milton court. I have to do things myself now because I'm an adult. Darn. And so I have lots of ways that people can help with that if they choose to contribute. I'd been going around to different businesses seeking auction items for my coronation this coming weekend on the 9th, and everyone was really generous for that. But I can have, if someone chooses to sponsor a piece of clothing for the Miss Rodeo America pageant, for an example, if they wanted to sponsor one of my dresses. Rodeo queens typically wear leather dresses. Leather is not economical per se, and the artists that construct these dresses aren't necessarily economical as well. So if somebody were to want to sponsor that, they could sponsor a piece of my wardrobe. They could sponsor a trip for when I travel to Calgary, Alberta to attend the Calgary Stampede, or Cheyenne, Wyoming when I attend Cheyenne Frontier Days. If they wanted to sponsor a trip, they could do that. There's lots of different routes, or product donation. If somebody like a seamstress wanted to contribute their time to constructing a piece or two, there's lots of different ways, and everybody's so creative, and so there's probably ways that I can't even think about. And so I've had people reach out to me and they're, hey, what about this? And I'm like, wow, that's a great idea. I never thought of that. So there's a lot of ways to contribute towards my year. To get a hold of me, the best way is my title holder email, which is Miss Rodeo Oregon 2019 at gmail.com. It's definitely a long one. Or we also have a Miss Rodeo Oregon Inc. Facebook page, or they could go to missrodeooregon.com, which is our website. It also showcases our teen and junior title holders as well.